and Light Collective. Back at it with another live stream. You guys, I'm so glad I made it. I'm so glad you made it. And you know what else? I want to just kind of like slide right into this one. This one's not for everybody, you guys, but don't worry, you still are eligible. Those that know, if you know, you know, right? If you don't, catch up, would you? You get a free tarot reading since it's a freaking live stream. All right, so win 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 for everyone, anyhow, even though, again, general collective message, but not going to resonate for everyone, especially all aspects. It feels hella specific, you guys. But it also urgently needed to come out. So here we are talking about it, okay? Now, um, the spread came out quite interestingly this time because I feel like we got a lot more information about collective member, like down to the names. So take what resonates here. We're going to be talking about places, names, chart placements, all that jazz, right? And maybe some or maybe absolutely none at all, perhaps you got to find out, right? Um, may or may not resonate on this one, you guys, okay? I know I love to tout like, oh, I got the message every single one of us in all aspects can kind of cling on to here. Not one of those, okay? But the message stands, and I'm not here to manipulate the message. So make sense? Okay. All right. I hope you guys are feeling amazing, and I do think that you'll be able to get a little something something out of the session just because you're amazing that way. And I know, if I know my collective, and I do, as long as you try, you're definitely going to get a little something, okay? So here's the situation. We're talking love, right? Now, um, let me get into this. You guys, there could be some significance to actual like memories connecting to making and or performing out some form of shadow puppet scene situation, or hey, movie. I'm not here to judge. No, let me stop. But stranger things have happened. I'm just saying the hand puppets, the shadow puppets, not the hand puppets, excuse me. The shadow puppets came out, okay? Now, this could actually be a man that we're talking about, all right? In the physicality. Okay, it doesn't have to be the case. Same deal with doctor, all right? Because both of those archetypes came out. And this person being a king of swords, they could be older than you. Doesn't have to be the case, right? Them being the king of swords and simultaneously fearing, perhaps, we'll have to find out and maybe ask your opinion of things later, but that you would then be the queen to that court, whether guy, girl, what have you. And again, we're talking swords, which can kind of go either way. It's like, oh, intellect arousing, like if I do say so myself, right? But then at the same time, you know, when all that truth be truth, and sometimes it gets a little algae, right? Sometimes on the other side of clarity is not simply in solely bliss. I'll say it that way, right? Sometimes on the other side of clarity, you know, you get met with feelings like outrage, right? And a lot of times validly so. I'm not here to judge. I'm just saying we're talking about these things for somebody's some kind of situation out here, okay? Whether guy, girl, what have you. Now, Area 51 could be of some significance as well. Maybe he's too talked about that. Maybe actioned out a shadow puppet show regarding. I'd love to see that. Gosh, I'd almost pay for that one. Can I? You know, let me know in the comments. What are y'all doing? You got a production somewhere going on about that? Should you, since we're talking about it? No, let me stop. But there could also be some significance, you guys, to the age 51, not just the area, right? Maybe somebody's big point is that that area should be opened to the public, mayhaps, okay? Not my opinion, I'm just reading the cards, you guys. Somebody could be in college, somebody could have made the decision that college wasn't for them. Maybe that was like a bone of contention. It's like, oh, well, I'm, you know, Mr. PhD, Mr. MD, Mr. DO, and so in order to be in my circle of social status, dot, 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 right? And, you know, perhaps that's something that it was like a deal breaker or just viewed as lesser than desirable. I don't mean to sound triggering, okay? I'm just reading through the energies here, okay? To be clear, this is not my opinion. I don't even believe it's public opinion at this point, so there's that, okay? But this would be a bit of the history, perhaps, if this is your reading, okay? Though it's a general collective, can't always hit for everybody 1,010% all at once, right? Makes sense. You wouldn't want me trying to do that anyways, right, guys? It sounds ouchy just to even think about it, especially at this late hour. So there is that. But you guys could be like bookworms, or somebody here could be, really into reading books, maybe even book clubs. Okay. Hi, yeah. Now, speaking of history, what I'm seeing is kind of icky. This seems to be a situation where, doctor vibes, okay. Not every doctor, but gosh, I want to really not be any more triggering with my words here and say it this way. Long story short, going back to the social status, and to be fair, the time demands, I'll put it that way, that type of profession, specifically a doctor. Now, I'm not here saying everybody connected to this grouping of energies is a doctor. However, it's a prominent position that we're talking about. This is an example. Okay, so if you're saying your guy or your girl, whoever is not a doctor, maybe they work somewhere else that takes them outside of, the bedroom, the family room, etc. Right? Now, long story short, it seems to be that there was some sort of construction, and or simply, at the beginning of, not really the beginning, but in the history of this, at some point, you were moving into a house, having a house renovated. There were painters there. Somehow, long story short, this led to some sort of aspect of infidelity. Okay. So for some of you, it's like somehow this doctor gets roped into one of the situations with some employee or business owner, right? And could have been of the female variety. Others of you, it's the reverse of that. Okay, so take what resonates here. There's something about children coming out through as well. So one or more individuals here could have had either a pregnancy scare and or a child by this particular person. Your person here, collective member, take how it resonates, okay? And or there was a scare or a threat, okay? I'm getting a whole mixed bag with that one, all right? So, you know what you got there. I'm not trying to rip into it and make it all fresh again, I mean, to be clear, so... but there was some significance to having the house renovated, painted, and that leading to other partners or another source of partnership, relations. All right. So take what resonates there. So there was some cutting off on the other side of that. All right. Maybe even referable to pictures. Maybe pictures were cut out. Okay. I've seen people do that before. It's like, oh, no one was ever standing there. No, nobody was kissing me. Or snip, right? I guess do whatever assists you, But this person definitely wants to come back, but also to help men not come back as a victim, right? And not even necessarily come back as like a victor, right? In the sense of like, I could just smooth this all over and it's fine. I've still got my white coat. I'll throw some money at it. Like, no. In the sense of just being like, you know what? I am going to be an honorable person. I'm going to hold myself accountable. All right. And, roll my sleeves up and fix this kind of thing if doable. All right. Now, I see it's doable in the sense that the cards indicate yous are a match. Okay. So really what I'm getting by that is, energetically, we're talking about the court of, again, swords, which deal with mental space more so than the heart space, right? Which tells me, like, there could have been two overthinkers, overanalyzers at this situationship. Sometimes just even, having the ideation, oh, so and so is cheating on me, can be enough for somebody to really self-sabotage the crap out of a situation and treat somebody like they were cheating and they the whole time weren't, right? So there could have been like a little bit of like scared perceptions here on both sides of the fence from what I'm picking up energetically. But yeah, so this person saying, I regret being unfaithful. Now I know how it feels. So, I mean, some of you, this person's moved on, you've moved on, and it's like they just can't help but keep tripping every now and again. It's like every third month they're falling down, falling into the cycle. You know, it could be drinking, ugly crying on the strength of this, okay? Not to glorify any of it. I feel like I didn't try, but just to be clear, right? Like it's not something that, you know, any one of us should be going, oh, like over, because this is talking about imbalance and possibly mental health, you know. Not that I'm diagnosing anyone, but you know, none of this is talking about what our intended baseline energies should be. And for those that don't know, which I feel like we mostly do here, that's calm, peace, and serenity as baseline energy. You know, nothing about calm, nothing about peace, nothing about serenity is toxic or hot versus cold or imbalanced. See what I mean there? So, but this could be also because of substances as well. I mean, if we are talking about you know, drug and alcohol usage, it could lead to some other aspects of, I don't want to say like psychosis, but I mean, it could lead to other aspects of the cycle and furtherance of the self sabotage. I mean, let's be honest, okay? So, at some point, you guys, whether somebody's name here ever is Valerie or not, gosh, that makes me think of that song. Valerie, come on, do 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 do, Valerie. That's by Amy Winehouse. Although, forgive me, I'm not certain if she was the original singer to that song, but it's literally titled Valerie. Um, so that could be somebody's name, somebody's sister's name. Doesn't have to be the case. Gosh, I get heavy wedding vibes. It's like you guys were married, you guys were working on the new house, whether it was a new house or a new house, right? Perspective. And things just kind of got, I don't know if somebody felt like things were getting off the ground too fast and they were worried already if they were going to be able to keep them off the ground, kind of thing. Or you know what, karma just ensues, right? Sometimes you get tested and there's karmic repercussions. Other times you get tested and there's karmic repercussions, right? And so, you know, it just is what it is, kind of thing, right? So there's that. And somebody's name could be Daphne, Brooke, Ava, Nikki, Naomi, Glenda. That makes me think of Wicked. There could be Tabitha, or a Samia here, Samia. Okay, that can attach to the collective. Doesn't have to be the case. But this person saying, again, they regret being unfaithful. They get it now, what it's like, right? In case they didn't know before. I mean, but you know, sometimes, you know, we do require those reminders or to learn the lesson the hard way, however you want to say that, right? So there's that. This person saying we need to talk, but not through text. And they're definitely fantasizing about you. But the thing is, some of you, you know, it's like, oh, you want to glorify that and everything, but they're still with other people. They're still laying with other people, whether it's in a formal, everybody knows kind of sense or not. Okay. And that's where I go, and like, firstly, ew. Right. Um, and this person saying, being with you taught me a lot. So I get it. You're unforgettable, collective, duh, right? Like, there's no one gonna be better, obvi. Okay. But again, they're learning the lesson perhaps the hard way or the harsh way, and or fearing that that will be the case, because again, when they're looking at you, even towards current energies, you're coming out as the Queen of Swords. Whether you work in, you know, a governmental agency type profession, legal profession, or medical profession, or blue collar type of title or not here, okay? Work for the justice system as well. They're saying, I still want you in my life. Can we be friends? Record scratch. It's like, I don't know, collective. Like, you know, depending on how long this has been going on, you know, utilize your intuition. Also, be authentic when you are utilizing any aspect or form of expression, creative or not, okay? Because otherwise, what are you doing? Like, why should you entertain the dance, right? Why even go into like peacocking mode for what? Ego at that point? Like, you're wasting time even for ego purposes, which is not going to get you any far where you feel satiated, like where you feel heard and seen and felt and loved and tolerated and appreciated. So there's that, right? Free will, I mean, you could use it, but just saying, I'd advise against you going down that path. Now, you have to be authentic in your expression too. Like, can you be friends? Can you? You know, um, you'd have to really make sure that in spite of this person's title, let's say it's a high level hierarchy soulmate, and I do see, my six of, it was either six of cups or six of pentacles. Where is she? Where, hold on. No, because that wasn't the deck. Hold on 1 second. I'm tripping. Hold on 1 second. No, because all right, here we go. I was like, what? Because I know we have it here. Oh, it's the Pentacles. All right. Um, so, this is at least a soulmate, right? But we talk about that all the time. It's like a soulmate, and soulmate could mean, well, the previous 3 incarnations, that was the mailman. The 2 incarnations prior to that, that was the milkman, right? Like, and like you didn't have any like firsthand ties that really like allowed for you to like sing kumbaya and like ride off into the sunset. And even if you did, maybe that was your brother. You know what I mean? Like, so you really, or your sister, however it makes sense to say here. But um, definitely do not, this is like a repetitive aspect of the channeling. Do not glorify. Do not glorify. Not in the sense of like, don't get your hopes up. This isn't for you kind of thing. But in the sense of, let's not play pedestal roulette at this point, right? Maybe that's kind of some in substance of certain aspects of the path that created weaknesses towards this foundation, even though you were doing everything perhaps properly and formal and or social and or related success, right? This person saying you will always have my heart. And they do plan for those that they're with a placeholder, they're planning on leaving them for you. Okay. They're still just not certain if you're going to, like allow them to even get most of this off their chest, plus accept their bouquet of flowers, plus not actually embarrass them, whether publicly in a forum and or on the street. Okay. Now, as far as pedestal, right, crosswatcher, that to be mindful not to over glorify the situation. And I get it. I see, but now in both decks, the Four of Wands coming out, this could be your twin flame. Even then, you got to know just a title, right? Like, not just a title, but in the sense of pedestal roulette, just a freaking title. Okay. Because what you don't want to do is find out on the back end that now this next round of you being in the Three of Swords energy, or you're all broke, busted, disgusted from at least the heart space down, right? At that point, you plus rose colored glasses, not it, babe. Like, put them down, just breathe, live your best life, do you, and attract whom all ever is worthy to love you, right? So there's that, right? And I gather that this person, whether Capricorn, Libra, Cancer, Virgo, Sagittarius, Aquarius, or not, okay, is really sensing that you are doing just that, living your life, right? And I mean, how could you not? I mean, some of you, there are children involved. It's like you can't just like, well, I'm gonna hold my breath until I turn blue. Meanwhile, the baby like needs 3 diaper changes and 17 meals perhaps or something. Like, you can't just check out and put anything on hold or pause necessarily, especially when you're talking your life, right? So that makes sense. Hopefully, Crosswatcher or however this is you being the masculine here, the doctor, on that side of things, hopefully you see that, okay? Because That's really not fair to expect somebody to wait, you know, and waste any of their time or their life force energy, the means, methods, and chances, windows of opportunity to create that authentic expression that we all deserve to experience and create. Okay, it's why we're here. All right, of course, along with learning and growing our soul. And that's why these interplay communications, and that's why these cycles of off and on again, try again, right, are so important, because otherwise you're not necessarily learning and growing your own soul. What kind of catalyst, what energy, what reasoning would you have necessarily on a consistent basis without some of these stimuli, without some of these lessons, right? So it's a dance of going with the flow whilst not being bitter. And, you know, certain days that sounds like a better idea than others. I get it. But keep going at this, because worst case scenario, you're just going to attract, and as you should, all right, especially those divine feminines out there. We don't chase, we attract, right? And you're going to most assuredly, worst case scenario, attract someone in of and capable of. Gosh, don't you want both of those things, worthy and capable, right? Imagine somebody's worthy enough and they don't believe that they're capable. I can't really, she's so high caliber, I can't really keep her because, you know, I only have this kind of car. And like, oh, I only have one car. And like, gosh, I would love to just give her a car, but because I can't give her a car, yeah, I probably I should just not try. Cause, you know, whole time they're worthy, but they're over in disbelief land, fucking around, right? You're just like, okay, well, this music is not it. I'm gonna go make my own music, right? And maybe you literally did that. Anyhow, could be some significance to the states South Carolina, Missouri, Minnesota, Colorado, Arizona, Massachusetts, Connecticut, New Hampshire, Maine, and or Illinois. Okay. Maybe you guys visited those states, you're from those states, somebody hails from some kind of stomping grounds around there and all that doesn't have to be the case, you guys. But I was heavily guided to that deck. I think that was one of the first decks that I like jumped to. And so it just is what it is. Somebody's name, whether first, middle, or last, could start with an A, and or there could be some significance to an apple. All right. Y'all freaky, huh? That's all right. But anyways, somebody's name, first, middle, and or last name initials could be F and or K. Freaky deaky. Oh, there's an L. Let me stop. Okay. We've got S and T. Maybe somebody lives on a street, right? Maybe somebody likes Nintendo, Super Mario Brothers, the DS, perhaps. The D, perhaps. And somebody could be like a public defender, a police officer, someone in the justice system. Doesn't have to be the case, but I'm seeing it. All right. And we've got N. All right. Did I say? I'm trying to think. Did I say T? I think I did. Yeah, we're good. And C at the bottom of the deck. All right. Aries popping out at me now. All right. So whether your person, however that pans out. Okay. Here's the sitch though. They want that 10 of Pentacles with you. Okay. 10 of Pentacles is like everybody like doing their part and it working. Everybody happy, safe, right? Getting that bag. Four of Cups, this person, in spite of whatever relationships, situationships, they're either in and or have been in since knowing you, since last separating with you. You don't hold a candle to even the idea of this person's energy melding with yours, even just once more, let alone for the rest of your life. Okay. This person is actually in full card energy finally about being in a loving connection, no longer really seeing this ball and chain type of energy connecting to you and that ideation anymore. All right. This is what's leading to this Ace of Wands. Seems to be that you are attracting this lover in, and as you should. No more chasing, babe. All right. Especially if you're the divine feminine. Now, divine masculines, for anyone out there wondering, okay, and to be clear, I'm still addressing energy. We've all got divine feminine and masculine within us. irregardless of the meat suit. And that's why we've always got to tell the divine femmes, most likely, right? More so than the inverse, reverse of this. I don't know. It's late. Do not chase, attract, right? Because you know what? It's hard enough with all of the societal restrictions, even aspects of patriarchy, right? Like it's like there's a lot of pressure to be in that success filled energy of that of the masculine, right? The masculine has to understand how to basically be the hunter and gatherer, but in balance, right? Could you imagine if somebody said, "Oh, yeah, I'm gonna go hunt turkey," which I don't really like the idea of, but this is the manly version, I suppose, of the visual illustration that we're going to be gifted with this evening. Okay, so really quick. All right. Long story short, you already know strategy wise, right? Not even experience, but it's like it's giving duh. If you're gonna go hunt something, you don't go in and go, "Hey, buffalo! Hey, turkey! Hey, Bill! I'm hunting you!" right? Especially if it's like really for real, like a thing. Like this is serious, not for play, not even like pay for play kind of thing. Like this is like I'm actually like it's either you or me. Like you don't usually go in there going, all eyes on me before you even get to whatever device, tool, and trigger you're coming up with. Okay, just saying, right? So, the divine masculine too has to balance their energies, masculine and feminine, right? But there's also the dark and light of both masculine and or feminine. So same deal with that too, you guys, right? Um, and it, you can't really fault somebody for getting the coursework and passing or not in what you perceive to be a timely or not of because who are you to say? Like, firstly, firstly, that has more to do with the say of that particular person's soul, and even referable to the twin flame, right? You still have different casing, different bloodlines, different energies, and different physicalities. More often than not, even different cultural aspects. Like there's a lot there that can create an innumerable amount of variabilities that can either allow for the connection to seem like it's really going to work and it's so great, or not. Okay. And so again, going back to that divine strategy of the divine really kind of keeping us in tow here with understanding like what makes us tick versus what we know gives us the ick on the other side of some experience. Some of these things you can't know until you've experienced. So then make a choice. I no longer yield to this. I accept this, right? Like I no longer look towards the dusty, right? I'm only going to look to where the kings walk the earth kind of thing, right? Because why would you be in the dusty section milling about like it's bins or something? Like you can't, you can't do that when it's your life and you're talking about the love of your life, the caring connection of your life, right? Like, are you serious right now? This isn't goodwill, right? Like goodwill toward men never really meant that either, to be clear, right? So, but this person really is I'm not gonna lie, you guys. I'm not here to sugarcoat it. It's giving, depending on which masculine we're talking about out of this bunch. Some have their crowns on a little bit straighter than others, right? A lot of emotions, and you know what? This could be also tying in with the timing of the planetary alignments, which are like literally lining up right now. I did post in the Facebook group about it, so you guys check that out. If you're saying, "What do you mean Facebook group?" Check the description box below. If you're saying, "What do you mean description box?" Ask for somebody to please and thank you share the link that's inside of the description box for anyone that can get there to share. Okay, and sharing's caring, you guys. Thank you so much for helping your girl help out the channel as well as the mission as well as us. When we do all of this together, that's exactly what we're doing. Okay, and it's really great stuff and I love to talk about it, so thank you. Okay, um but yeah, just seems like some time definitely needed to pass They still want you in their life, but I don't know if they're lying to themselves, going, this is a situation where I want to be friends, or some of them are wanting that because they're still in that like red zone of like not necessarily believing wholeheartedly that they're worthy of this connection and are capable of keeping it. Again, they could be worthy all they want if they don't believe in the connection. If they don't believe in their capability of honoring and maintaining the connection, then so what of it? It could be worthy till the cows come home, but there's no making is shake when you can't make sense of it. You know what I mean? This kind of love definitely is too spiritual not to make sense at some points of the juncture. Okay, I have to say it that way too, because if you over logic this, then you could be same deal, shooting yourself in the foot. Um, and again, it's really that intuitive dance, that ebb and flow of what is, while honoring what is to be only that, and not over glorifying or not glorifying the situation, the person, the version of them to be, you know, for you to fall prey to be delusioned into thinking that they're somewhere and or someone that they're not, or not yet even, right? And of course we don't walk around holding our breath going, hopefully by next Thursday they get it, and then they can come in, and then I can make a potato salad, and we can go over to um the Stetson's house, and we can, it's like you gotta take a look at the situation at hand. You know how they say read the room, right? You gotta read the room for this connection. If this person's telling you, I think we should be friends, honor that that's their truth, okay? And you honor your own. If your truth is, I'm not comfortable with that, then you can't be the one that goes, okay, sure, we're besties, right? Because that's not honoring the connection. You're not even being authentic or truthful in the matter. So, what would you expect of that on the back end? You see what I mean? You got to make it make sense, you guys, right? And vice versa. Of course, this is most likely what was not going on in the previous stages, right? Either for one and or both of you, okay, depending on who I'm reading for and addressing, right? I'm not calling anybody else out, but all right, if this is your reading. But you can't do that. All right, now's not the time. There's never a time to be inauthentic, to be clear. Like, especially with your high level hierarchy soulmate and or your twin flame and or the love of your life. I'm just straight shooting it, right? Like, it just is what it is. Okay, there's no pussyfooting around that part. Okay, and so just like you don't like to be lied to, don't you be that one talking about it's fine. Like, I know what they mean. Like, we're just gonna say we're friends. No, because if you're already making agreements with someone who's not telling you, like, plain as day what they mean, and or if they're telling you anything and you automatically have it in your mind that you've got to translate it into something that you believe with your heart is the truth, that's toxic, because that's not actually what's literally going on. And here's the sitch. This is why I also say be mindful to love you, okay, such to the point where you know how to teach others how to love you. And it's not about wham bam, thank you, ma'am or sir, right? It's literally about honoring yourself, who you are versus who you are not, and being able to do that with someone else who is like minded, okay, who is a vibrational and frequency match, okay? Kingdom spouse, as it were, right? Some might say. It doesn't have to be the way you say that, though. I'm just serious. But you can't fake at that, though, right? Like, that'd be like saying, it's like somebody calls and it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be there. Yeah, I know, I'm in the car now. Totally not in the car. Yeah, I'm gonna be there, and ETA on the GPS says like 12 minutes. 37 minutes later, you're nowhere to be. Like, do you think that the person's gonna be like not noticing? Right? I feel like if you said a differential between 12 and 37 minutes time, somebody would notice. And at that point, even then, are you going to be prepared to be accountable, or are you going to lie again? Right? Like when you get used to these like little white lies, not that we want to put color into any of that, do we? You know, you're starting to make agreements with that patterning, that type of templated thinking and social type of I don't want to say social cues, but like, you know, it's like, oh no, it's fine, just a little white lie, it's fine. But you're talking about building a foundation with somebody that you're expecting to be the love of your life. And honey, I need to tell you, if you resonate with just this last little bit, you're not honoring yourself to the point of being the love of your own life, such to the point where you're already shooting this whole connection like into the ground. I know you want it. I know you didn't intend to put it into the ground. I'm just letting you know, when you make agreements with that type of mindset, lifestyle, tendency, right? You tend to, here's that word again, attract more of that likeness. Okay. And then now that you know that, if you proceed on, don't wonder why everyone else around you is lying, not only to you, but to themselves. So gone are the days where you look to somebody going, oh, I've identified because I love myself enough. You're lying to yourself and you're comfortable with it. But I'll just gloss it over and I'll be so surprised. Like, how did they have the audacity to lie to me after you've already like seen the red flags? Like, are you serious? If somebody can't not lie to them, and or if somebody can't not be consistent for them, and or if someone cannot hold themselves accountable to their benefit, how the hell are they doing it for you? And why are you now that on the other side of realizing, oh, that doesn't add up? They lie. I don't. If you allow access from that point on, right? With your heart and all your goodies that you got, then that was on you, right? Like you can't at that point even like get up and be like, I don't even understand why that didn't work. It's because it already was broken. Like like that type of paradigm, that type of mentality, mindset, lifestyle is broken. All right. And so it can't go where you're going. And so long story short, I'm pretty sure both of you know that by now. What I'm unclear about, if anything, is tying up some of these loose ends. All right. So I do see that between now and I want to say the month of September, but also October could be the case as well. All right. That this person's going to come back around and really try to pour their guts out to you, man. They're scared you're going to just be so quick to just grab that. It's like, I don't know what else you got besides this. It seems like, I want to say like whips and chains. Like this person is like really thinking the worst. So I don't know if this is because you are ultimately so expressive with your tongue, your truth, your authentic and or creative expression, and maybe more so in moon cycles past compared to their abilities, capabilities, or preference. Okay. Or not. There could be some significance to Catwoman too. Maybe somebody dressed as that as for Halloween, or that's a particular character. But this person is looking at you like you're Catwoman. I mean, you could be seeing 9-9 at least on the strength of this in confirmation. Um, this person is like, it's almost like, even if there's like 1,010% no way in hell you're actually like with anyone, or like dating, or even like interested, say you're not even interested, right? And say this person has heard you say this, or like it's just understood in your general community, you're living your best life with you, for you, and you're okay with that right now in this chapter, in this season, right? This person is still like, I can't say the references. Oh, this person is like sweating bullets kind of thing, right? Like just, breaking out of sleep, if you can call it that, on a weekly, I won't say nightly, but like on a weekly basis, like, oh no, is she with someone? Are they with someone? Did I dream that, or is that a dream? This, and again, karma, fear, unchecked ego, all of this creates like a powder keg sometimes for some folks, okay? For some souls. And it's really best not to judge, okay? Because you know what? If I even had a penny for every time I said something to the effect of I would pay to see someone do me better so I could sit back and take notes. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, you know, you'd like to believe that we're all doing our best at whatever and what all ever parts we have to play in this whole thing, right? And so too is true for this person, whether you want to call them a gentleman or not, whether they are nicely dressed or not, whether they have blue and or brown eyes or not, okay? Dark skin or not. Somebody here could be plus size, doesn't have to be the case. Somebody here could be very young. This could be someone who resonated with the aspect of like college, should you not type of thing, right? While this person seems to be really established in other ways, okay? Somebody here could wear glasses. Blonde hair also came out as well as light skin, okay? There could be some significance to red lips as well. This card is upside down. I was going to say, wait a minute, hold on. Could be some significance to short hair and a beard as well. So this could be the doctor. It doesn't have to be the case that I'm describing, but there is a man here, okay? For somebody, somewhere. But this person definitely looks to you as wish fulfillment. I mean, there's no one else that's gonna. I'm hearing that Khalid song. I think it's Khalid. Um, Nothing is better than this. I don't know if that's the song. What am I gonna? What am I gonna do? Look it up right now? Should I? Should I? Go figure. The song was better by Khalid. All right. Nothing feels better than this. That's what it is. Nothing feels better than this. All right. So look that up. Khalid is the artist's name and the song Better. Okay, so maybe that's of some significance. You guys, I also did hear a couple songs this evening. The first was hold on a second. Oh wait, no wait, no wait. Is that it? Wait. Okay, let me see. Okay. The first one was Macy Gray, I Try. And what was the other one? Oh, okay, wait, hold on a second. I have to look it up. This one's like 90s though, vibes. Okay, let me see. Um, it's called Just Another Dream. That's by Kathy Dennis. Literally 1990. Okay, so somebody here could be there could be like an age differential. But and this person cuz okay, so even in this particular song, it's like the stars say you're my best lover, matched up like sugar for a cake. They say our love could conquer anything, right? Um, so it's all is this for real or is this just another dream? Right? This person doesn't know. It's so funny because it does connect back to the energy of like, was that a dream? Is she married? Like, it's, I don't mean to laugh at this person, but it's kind of cute, but it's also cute karmically, like, as well. It's like, it's kind of what happens on the other side of that, right? But they're not sure because I feel like you're quite unpredictable to them anyhow, right? Makes sense if they're your twin. I mean, you guys are mirroring because they don't seem to have been thoroughly predictable every step of the way either, from what I'm looking at in the cards. But they're really burdened by this, and they definitely do have this understanding as well as intent that they want to like help heal your heart. It's like I know I wasn't perfect and I know I need to be accountable, but what I'm not seeing in the cards is like 1,010% like will they, and what you can't do, collective, is allow that to be smoothed over. Not in the sense of like, oh, there's got to be arguments. No, but the accountability should have nothing to do with an argument. That's what's so crazy. You know, people get templated, especially, I don't want to come off sexist, but there is some differences. There are some differences. Excuse me, let me speak. Okay. And there are some differences between the templating culturally. I'll just leave it at that, right? From that of a male as compared to that of a female. Males don't necessarily get to walk around crying and you just go, "What's wrong, Brian?" Right? Like, you know, maybe before anybody even comes along to ask Brian, like, "What's up?" there's 15 other people, you know, jeering at Brian, even like being weak enough, quotes on that, air quotes on weak, okay? Because I'll tell any man, like, literally, it takes strength to cry. Like, you don't get to just cry and be like weak at the same time. Like, it's not actually a thing. It takes a lot of strength to be like, I am feeling all of my feelings right now, and right now I'm either so irate, angry, you know, disappointed, mad, frustrated, overwhelmed, anxious, downtrodden, right? To feel in the throes of that moment, all of those feels, and still be able to like give yourself a moment to alchemize really what you're feeling. You know, it takes a lot of strength to do that. And you know, there are some exceptions to every rule out there. I get that, right? Like you wouldn't want somebody going like if Brian was like a crier. It's like, okay, it's been 12 minutes. Why, you know, Brian, why are you crying now? You're crying because you're hungry? Okay, well, here's some food. All right. Um, you know, 30 minutes from that point, Brian's crying again. It's like, what? Use your words, Brian, at that point, right? You got to talk it out. You can't just, and that's what I would tell to anyone, right? Whether guy, girl, what have you. The key is never to avoid any type of emotions or emotionality. I mean, more times than not, you guys, emotions are valid, right? But to allow them to rule us, to stay stuck in them, to just never have like an ending in sight about the same cortisol spikes and the same fight or flight response. That's where it's, you know, you gotta really kind of put your coach hat on and be like, okay, how are we going to actually move beyond this? Because our life doesn't reside in this energy, in this fight or flight, in this yes, no, maybe so, I don't know, how about now? Am I awake? Am I alive? You know, kind of thing. All right. Balance is needed, okay, in order for you to especially live out your baseline energy, right? Which again was what? Calm, peace, and serenity. No stress there, no cortisol shooting through the roof there, right? No guttural moans there to the point where you can't breathe and lungs can't function and you can't drive because you can't see where you're going because your eyes won't stop leaking and your head's pounding now because it's been 3 days you've been moping around and crying, right? So that's just guy, girl, what have you. That's just general generic advice. However, going back to those differences, a lot of the male, you know, energies in male meat suits, right? They're expected not to actually have that kind of strength. Oh no, they better strengthen it out some other way. Like, you know, you break your ankle, you walk around on it until it grits into dust. That's strong, right? Might be weak to run to the doctor, right? Right? Exactly. Okay. And that's what a lot of the divine masculines are still learning, okay? And you can't judge because, you know, maybe if you had to go through the same exact coursework in that same vessel, right? And you did, but okay, no, listen. Really, you did, okay? Everything's happening everywhere all at once. They made a movie about it, just saying, okay? Um, Literally, Jamie Lee Curtis is in the movie as well as a lot of others, okay? Everything, everywhere, all at once. Please look it up. Please watch it. Take notes. Watch it again because it's a lot. All right. But long story short, you did make it through. You are making it through. Okay. Best not to judge. Because on the other side of your own ignorance, you could be shooting yourself in the foot because you're judging. You doing the best you can. Where is the benefit? All right. So I'm saying that to say you got the sword of clarity and truth, okay, even if through this message simply and solely, right? Best not to judge, all right, and yield appropriately, okay? Continue, of course, towards the end game, the goal of more truth and clarity. But gone are the days where you are sugarcoating bullshit and gazing upon it willingly as well as lovingly through rose colored glasses. That's a toxic no-go zone. It's not going to benefit you. It's not even going to benefit this person. Definitely not going to benefit the connection. And long story short, the divine will most assuredly see to it that you learn these lessons and that you have some of these conversations, these adult conversations, these hard conversations filled with your own versions of authenticity. I have to say it that way because ain't no cookie cutter, even from one twin to the next type of Bobsy twin situation. You're so serious, right? Some sets of twins, you got dark and then light, right? It's like you gotta stand them next together to even like see the yin yang right there, right? Others you got a 50-50 and a 50-50. Okay, so and anything anywhere in between and all over the place. Okay, so again, best not to judge. What it is a call to do, again, to continue to do what all and whatever you came here to do and that pleases you and that assists you with your own soul contract. Okay. Yes, your soul contract, for those that do understand that you're subscribed to the twin flame journey, does have a lot of measure to it, I'm sure, regarding that twin flame, but it's not everything. Okay. Don't reduce yourself down into the twin flame dynamic because you're bigger than it anyhow, right? Okay. So as long as you remember that, it makes it easier for you to continue to live your best life, do what makes you tick, take care of those beautiful children, shine like the golden sun you are, starseed you, right? Like just take it all in for the experience and make it count, okay? But please do not hold your breath. Please do not wield your sword to the point where somebody's ears bleeding either, right? You know, we're all doing the best that we possibly can, or we're not, and we're being made accountable for that. Okay. And you know what? Just going through that process in and of itself, if you're being honest about it, isn't the easiest necessarily. It's not even necessarily painless. Okay. So be mindful of that when you're dealing with each other. You know, I always try to deal with people the way that I prefer to, up until the point where they show me the energy that I'm then going to definitely not keep, and I will always give it back, kind of thing, right? Because ain't nobody trying to give me their janky stuff. Like, I'm not trying to be the one that does anything beyond observing anymore. I refuse to absorb everyone else's everything else when they're here to be capable just the same in even greater measure to alchemize their own, right? And I think that is part and parcel of understanding the experience behind the twin flame journey and its dynamic as well. It was never really about riding onto the sunset from day one, if ever. It was always about how you were um, written in the stars to level up, you know, to get what you came here to get in experience, in divine right, rule, strategy, wisdom, and even down to your birthright package, right? So there's no shame in any of this, and again, that's why it's like be mindful to not attach it to anywhere to anyone, especially if you don't have that authority to do that. And even with your own authority, please know you could create a much more beautiful path than simply and solely being some sort of taskmaster. And I could have done better at you, or better than you at being you. And it's like, where was the contest anyways? I think the whole time we were supposed to all be learning and growing our soul. And so where was the problem there, right? I think the problem comes when feelings get hurt, perhaps lies are told, things are smoothed over, right? Not dealt with, they're avoided, those kind of things. And that's why it's really important now to not be on that type of time, to not be in that type of mindset and or lifestyle, okay? With this person, yes, but even with yourselves, collective, I hope that makes sense. And you know what, you guys, I think at this juncture, what maybe happened, because I don't see anybody on here with me. So sorry, I didn't mean to do it. But I think when I uploaded to go live, I think I forgot to take it off private. So to be clear, I'm going to have to just allow this to upload and then air it at some later date. Hopefully it's tomorrow, only because I think I have to wait like a few hours for this to be checked over by the YouTube gods, as it were, right? So my apologies. I just now realized, because I've been on here about like 56 minutes and there's not one soul on here with me. Oh my goodness, collective. I tried, your girl tried. I might actually see if I can pop on here a little while longer, but fault me not if that's actually not the case. I do need to meditate on that, because I ain't overarching the energy on my end of things either, because I'm not trying to half-ass her readings, okay, if that makes sense. Look what already happened, you guys. My goodness, I'm on here by myself like a puppet show. I might as well be the one making the shadow puppets on the wall, I guess. So sorry about that, collective, but hopefully this message reaches whomever it was for. Definitely was not for everyone, I get that. I love you guys so much. I just appreciate you checking out another video, and hopefully it did resonate for you, and I definitely look very much forward to the next live stream. All right, much love and light. Oh my goodness.